What's going on, Savage? It's CJ here, and I wanted to do a quick little coaching tip video for you guys. And today I want to talk about carbohydrates, whether or not you need carbs during your workout or post-workout to really improve your progress, whether that's for muscle hypertrophy, weight loss, performance, whatever it may be. Let's get into it. What up, Savage? It's CJ here, and today is going to be a quick little video where I want to talk about nutrient timing regarding carbohydrates. So this is for all of you guys that are still consuming carbohydrates in your diet. I know nowadays there's a whole lot of fear-mongering going on and misinformation when it comes to consuming carbs. You got ketogenic world, Paleolithic guys, and all the iterations of low-carb dieting. But this is for those of you that still are consuming carbs in your diet and you're curious whether or not it matters that you're consuming carbs around your workout, like specifically during your workout, maybe taking a Gatorade or some simple sugar, and whether or not you should be consuming simple carbs post-workout to really resynthesize the energy that you've lost, aka glycogen. All right, so here's the thing. We first got to understand why carbs may play a role in our performance in the gym or our results, and that's mostly due to glycogen stores. Glycogen is a complex carbohydrate that we store in both our skeletal muscle as well as in our liver. The average person has around 400 grams of glycogen in the skeletal muscle, while we have around 100 grams of reserve glycogen in the liver. Now, for the sake of today's video, we're just talking about skeletal muscle because the fact of the matter is we are primarily targeting skeletal tissue glycogen in the specific region of which we are training when we are going in and doing, say, traditional weightlifting, or those of you training for hypertrophy or weight loss, or just the average gym goer. The liver is going to be a reserve store, and it's really not going to play a crucial role in today's talk. But let's get into glycogen. All right, so the reason that there was this kind of mantra of you need to make sure and resynthesize your glycogen stores, you need to consume simple sugar post-workout, is because of two reasons. Number one, it is a understanding that we are using glycogen primarily when we're doing traditional style weight training. So those of you training for hypertrophy that are within that, say, 6 reps to as much as 20 reps per set, you are falling within glycolysis, which is an energy system that prioritizes the utilization of stored carbohydrates in skeletal muscle. Now, that's correct, it's just slightly overstated or slightly out of context. The second reason is because when we train, we do encourage cell sensitivity, which basically enhances nutrient uptake. It basically is encouraging the cell to be more sensitive to nutrient uptake and the utilization of nutrients from foods. So for instance, protein, post-workout is a great opportunity for us to, utilize amino acids and help to repair, say, muscle tissue. But it's also an opportunity where carbohydrates may be prioritized for kind of a super compensation of glycogen, or at least, we can restore glycogen at a quicker rate if we are consuming sugar post-workout due to this, again, anabolic window. This is, again, correct, just slightly out of context. So I want to basically say that the next part of this is not me necessarily discrediting those of you that are saying, you need to take carbohydrates post-workout. I'm not saying that it's not useful to consume simple carbohydrates after your workout. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't think that it's necessary and that there is a different way that you can look at this. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. Here's the deal. Most people, let's face it, you're training one time per day, once every 24 hours. On top of that, most of you are alternating muscle groups. You're not hitting, say, chest Monday and Tuesday. You might hit chest Monday and then come back on Wednesday, but you're not doing subsequent days. So first things first, it takes around 24 hours for us to resynthesize glycogen stores. And that means that all the food in a 24-hour period that you're consuming is going to actually pay into resynthesizing glycogen, whether that's rice later on that day or it's a Gatorade immediately after your workout. Either way, within 24 hours, you are trying to, again, resynthesize all of this used energy from that workout. And assuming that you're not training, again, 2-a-days or back-to-back workouts, you're going to have a refueled system. Also assuming that you're getting enough carbs in your diet. So hitting enough carbs that day does matter, but whether or not it's right after the workout, it's in the form of simple carb or complex carb, that's probably much less important. Now, the next reason I think this is important to recognize is because the truth is a lot of folks that are actually, say, training for weight loss purposes, you are in restrictive macronutrients. You are on some sort of calorie deficit. And so by you maybe taking 50 grams of your carbs given that day and giving that to like a simple sugar source or something like that, it might be a waste when you could have a more satiating carbohydrate by just waiting later in the day. Maybe that could have gone to, again, like rice or pasta or some sort of potatoes or something that's basically going to be a more whole, filling carbohydrate versus wasting it on a Gatorade. It's just not worth it, and it's not really serving you into any drastic amount. All right, so fact is that consuming carbs immediately after your workout is at best probably unnecessary for the average Joe. But there is kind of a caveat here. Here are the two reasons why I think that you should reconsider whether or not you're consuming carbs during or after the workout. The first one is if you are training very, very intensely and you are doing it for a prolonged workout, over 2 hours. If you're training more than 2 hours and that intensity is staying relatively high through those 2 hours, I think it makes sense for you to be actually consuming a simple carb source around maybe the end of your workout or during your workout at some point, because you're basically paying into that system as you're sustaining it for a long duration, and that might actually increase your performance towards the latter sets of your workout. This would be great for your results. We want to make sure that your performance is staying as high as possible. The next reason is that if you are actually doing 2-a-days, or if you're in some sort of like tournament. For instance, if you're playing a game and you know that you're going to be playing a game in a couple of hours from then, hey, that makes sense. Between those two games, maybe it's only 2-3 hours, consuming some simple carbohydrates is going to get in that system and hopefully resynthesize a certain percentage of that glycogen, which would pay into your performance in the second bout. Now look, outside of these two scenarios, for the most part, it's probably unnecessary that you're really overly concerned about when you consume your carbs. It should be more about what kind of carbs you're consuming that are going to make your diet more sustainable, and really just making this a more livable approach. You shouldn't have to be stressing on whether or not you're consuming, again, a Gatorade or something like that during your workout, because the average person that's looking to put on muscle or to lose weight, it's just really something that's in the weeds of necessities. That's it, guys. If you like what I'm saying here, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, like, share, whatever. I don't know where you're watching this. If there's something else you want to pay into this topic, I want to encourage you to do that down in the comment section. We actually encourage somebody thinking outside of the box, or extra questions or extra information on top of that. We love that kind of shit. So please don't think that we are the type that are not humble enough to be able to pay into something maybe we missed, or to actually hear from you guys any sort of criticism or add-ons. That's it. I'll see you savages later. Goodbye.